Hi, friends. Couldn't sleep last night because I wanted to make this video, but it got a little late, and then I just stayed up all night thinking about if I wanted to make this video and just tell you a story. Um, Here it comes. I was growing up. I would pray every night for my mom and my grandmother, and I used to pray, say, I want my grandmother lived to be more than 99 years old. So I prayed that I was a little kid going to sleep. Anyway, my grandmother about how great God is and that He answered my prayer and everything. And I got sat down, and then everybody was like, "Hey, you just talked about God the whole time. You didn't talk about your grandma." It's a speech for her 100th birthday. I was like, "Well, that's what I think about when I'm at her 100th birthday," and um, I just had to tell a story. I do this healing and living till 104, and she wants to move on. Don't send her any healing. Don't help her anymore. And which was difficult. And then I ended up, not. And then she wanted me to visit her, and I didn't visit her because I figured if I visited her, I'd want to help her, and maybe that would continue her life a little longer. So anyway, she passed on. And it was, so I went there and I was pallbearer at her funeral, and then um, they asked me to read. They asked, they said, "Would you like to read something during a service?" So I said, "Sure." And they handed me a piece of paper, and they said, "Read this." So I went up and read it. Well, I'm going to read to you now. And it was 2 days later. I'm just saying I had a great job at the time. 2 days later, my whole life changed. My job changed. Everything changed. 2 days after this, so it was like huge change, and just kind of make looking back now and what we're going through with changes and everything now, it all kind of makes sense. So I just thought I'd read it. It's a reading from the book of Revelations. So this is the second reading. It just kind of blows me away how I just had this like a command. I felt like I had to read this. So I'm reading it now. Second reading, a reading from the book of Revelation. I saw a new heaven and a new earth. The former heaven and the former earth had passed away, and the sea was no more. I also saw the holy city, a new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, "Behold, God's dwelling is with the human race. He will dwell with them, and they will be his people, and God himself will always be with them as their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes, and there shall be no more death or mourning, wailing or pain, for the old order has passed away." The one, uh, the one who sat on the throne said, "Behold, I make all things new. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the thirsty, I will give a gift from the spring of life giving water. The victor will inherit these gifts, and I shall be his God, and he will be my son." The word of the Lord. you know, it says it all right there, doesn't it? I mean, if you're going to talk about the Mandela effect, you're going to talk about this. This is before I noticed the Mandela effect. Before I everything we read. Maybe I'll break down. Might feel a little emotional with this, really. Uh, I could break this all down, but to me, it's like super obvious what this says now. And I couldn't sleep last night thinking about it. You know, this passage and then other passages when you're, you know, you kind of get the revel. This is from Revelations. So this is, you know, revealed, right? I mean, I could break the whole. Your mind's going to be blown away because you know the veil is taken away about this from me, and you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But so what I'm saying is, read it and pray, and maybe you'll get some understanding for it. Maybe I'll break it all down for you some other time. But this is basically what it's all about, right? A new heaven and new earth. The former heaven and the former earth had passed away. I mean, it makes all the sense. It's pretty deep. Anyway, yeah, I'll break it down some other time. If you'd like to comment, maybe we'll talk a little bit more about it. All right. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. Thank you.